Hello students, by this video let us study about sulfur dioxide properties. First let us look into the physical properties and then later we will see the chemical properties. So when we know sulfur dioxide, it is a gas, it is a polluting gas. Fine. So this polluting gas, when it is mixed with the atmospheric gas, the air what we breathe is completely polluted. Yes. So this polluting gas, sulfur dioxide, is having different physical properties. So let us see what it is. So this sulfur dioxide gas, it is generally produced, seen during volcano eruption. Okay. So once the volcano eruption takes place, the noxious gas which comes out of it is of sulfur dioxide. So this sulfur dioxide gas is colorless and having a suffocating odor. So odor means smell. Suffocating smell means the smell which is not pleasing to our nose. So that means once we are exposed to this gas or once we breathe this gas, we will feel some suffocation. We will not be in a position to breathe properly. Yeah, so that's why I said this gas is highly pollutant it is. Okay, and this is highly soluble in water. This gas is highly soluble in water and it is 2.2 times heavier than air. So its density is more. Okay, so it's 2.2. Its density is more. So for that reason, it is denser, and it is 2.2 times more heavier than air. Yes, and it can be liquefied. That means it can be made into liquid. So the liquefied temperature is 288 Kelvin and the pressure maintained is 2.5 atmospheric pressure. So at 2.5 atmospheric pressure and 288 Kelvin, the sulfur dioxide gas undergo liquefaction. That means it gets converted into liquid. Okay, and the boiling point is 263 Kelvin. Now let us look into the chemical properties of sulfur dioxide. So sulfur dioxide is an arsenic oxide. Okay, so when the sulfur dioxide is mixed with water, what happens? You get sulfurous oxide. Okay, so SO2 mixed with H2O. Sulfur dioxide mixed with water gives you H2SO3. That is your sulfurous oxide. Okay, H2SO3. Now this is a reversible reaction. Okay, so this H2SO3 further when it undergo reverse reaction, it forms 2H plus ion and SO3 2 minus ion. Okay, so H2SO3 further by it undergo decomposition. Yes, when it undergo decomposition, it forms H plus ion and SO3 2 minus ion. Got it? So here sulfur dioxide is soluble in water. It is highly, its point is highly soluble in water. So that's why sulfur dioxide it is also called as acidic oxide. Okay. So why is it called acidic oxide? Because it reacts with water. It is completely soluble in water and forms sulfurous oxide. So this sulfurous oxide is acidic oxide. Okay. Yes. So this sulfurous oxide further when it undergo decomposition, it forms 2H plus ion and SO3 2 minus ion. Okay, so SO3 is your sulfite ion. So charge of the sulfite ion is S2 minus. Okay, let us see sulfur dioxide reaction with base. Sulfur dioxide can react with bases. So what type of bases? Sodium hydroxide NaOH and sodium carbonate Na2CO3. Na2CO3 is sodium carbonate. So you have to keep all these formulas in your mind, chemical formulas. So it's very important. Okay. So if the chemical formulas go wrong, the complete reaction goes wrong. Okay. So sulfur dioxide first react with sodium hydroxide NaOH to gain sodium bisulfite NaHSO3. So that is sodium bisulfite. Got it? Now this sodium bisulfite is also obtained when sulfur dioxide reacts with sodium carbonate Na2CO3. So sulfur dioxide reacts with sodium carbonate in the presence of water to give sodium bisulfite, and along with that carbon dioxide gas is also obtained. Now this sodium bisulfite further undergo decomposition reaction that is splitting. So decomposition reaction to form sodium sulfite, along with that water and sulfur dioxide gas is obtained. Okay, so this is the reaction of sodium hydroxide and sodium carbonate with sulfur dioxide. Got it? So when sulfur dioxide reacts with sodium hydroxide, it forms sodium bisulfide. Similarly, when sulfur dioxide reacts with sodium carbonate, also it forms sodium bisulfide. So this sodium bisulfide, when undergo decomposition, it forms sodium sulfide, water and sulfur dioxide gas. Fine. Now let us see the oxidizing and reducing nature of sulfur dioxide. So generally, some substances can act as an oxidizing agent and some substance can act as a reducing agent. Whereas, in the case of sulfur dioxide has both the reducing nature as well as the oxidizing nature. So what is responsible for both these oxidizing and reducing nature of sulfur dioxide? We'll see that. Now, sulfur dioxide, we know the formula of sulfur dioxide is SO2. So, by calculating the oxidation state of sulfur in this sulfur dioxide, it is +4. How did I get +4? Because oxygen, two oxygen atoms are there, oxidation state of oxygen is -2. So for oxygen, -2 is the oxidation state. So 2 -2 into 2. So it gives you -4. So if oxygen is O2 in sulfur dioxide, the oxidation state of oxygen is -4. Then for sulfur, the oxidation state will be +4. Okay, only then +4 and -4 will become 0. So charge of a molecule will be always 0. Okay, yes. So likewise, in this sulfur dioxide, oxidation state of sulfur is +4. Okay, so generally sulfur is having variable oxidation state like -2, 0, +2, +4, +6. So these are the variable oxidation state for sulfur, whereas in sulfur dioxide, sulfur is having the oxidation state of +4. Okay, so this +4 is coming in between -2 and +4, right? So a substance, if they have a maximum oxidation state, so that substance can be acting as oxidizing agent. Similarly, when the substance is having minimum oxidation state, substance is having the lower or the minimum oxidation value or oxidation state, then that substance is considered as a reducing agent. Okay, now this +4 oxidation state of sulfur in sulfur dioxide is coming in between the -2 and +6. As it is an intermediate state. Okay, so +4 is the oxidation state, that is, it is the intermediate value of oxidation state between -2 and +6 of sulfur. Okay, so it is for this reason this sulfur is acting both as an oxidizing agent as well as a reducing agent. Okay, so when the maximum oxidation state is +6, maximum oxidation state is +6, it is called as oxidizing agent. Why it is called as an oxidizing agent? Because it can accept electron. It can accept electron. So when it accepts electron, that means it is undergoing reduction. It is undergoing reduction itself. So such a substance which undergo reduction by itself, so that is called as oxidizing agent. Okay, so likewise the minimum oxidation state -2, it can donate electrons. So when it donates electrons, definitely it get oxidized by itself. So substance which undergo oxidation by itself, that is your reducing agent. So sulfur dioxide, because in the sulfur dioxide, sulfur has the oxidation state of +4, so it can act both as an oxidizing agent as well as a reducing agent. Understanding the reason why sulfur dioxide is having both oxidizing nature and reducing nature? Fine. Now let us look into the oxidizing property of sulfur dioxide. Right? So sulfur dioxide oxidizes hydrogen sulfide to sulfur and magnesium to magnesium oxide. So now let us see the reaction here. Hydrogen sulfide H2S is oxidized by sulfur dioxide to form sulfur and water. So now let us balance this reaction. So here 2 oxygen, there is only 1 oxygen, so to balance balance I put it here 2. Now hydrogen it is 4, so left hand side only 2, so to balance I put here 2, so it is 4 hydrogen. Now sulfur it is 3 sulfur here, so on the right hand side I put here 3, so now that is completely balanced. Okay, now let us look at the next reaction. Magnesium is also oxidized by sulfur dioxide to magnesium oxide and sulfur. So likewise let us balance here. Here it is 2 oxygen, only 1. So to balance it I put here 2. Okay, then so because here right hand side 2 magnesium, so here on the left hand side only 1. So I just put here 2. Yes, now sulfur 1 sulfur, right hand side and left hand side, so it's balanced. Okay, so that's it, your oxidizing property of sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide can oxidize hydrogen sulfide to sulfur and magnesium to magnesium oxide and sulfur. Okay. Now let us see the reducing property of sulfur dioxide. So sulfur dioxide reduces chlorine to HCl and potassium permanganate to Mn2 plus ion, that is MnSO4, and potassium dichromate K2Cr2O7 to Cr3 plus ion, that is your Cr2SO4 thrice, chromium 3 sulfate. Okay, so now let us see how chlorine is reduced to HCl by using sulfur dioxide. So let us see this reaction. Sulfur dioxide is reacting with chlorine in the presence of water. Okay, so reduction takes place in the presence of water here. So sulfur dioxide is reducing chlorine to HCl in the presence of water. So along with HCl you get H2SO4 also. Okay, so two products you get, one is HCl and one is H2SO4. H2SO4 is your sulfuric acid and HCl is your hydrochloric acid. Okay, hydrochloric acid. H2SO4, you know, sulfuric acid. Yes. Now let us balance the reaction here. Here 2 chlorine, whereas here only 1 chlorine, so to balance I put it here 2. Okay. Now here it is 2 hydrogen, so it becomes 4 hydrogen, whereas here only 2 hydrogen, so I put here 2. Okay. Then now to the oxygen, here it is 2 oxygen, also 2 oxygen, 4 oxygen, so here also 4 oxygen, that is balanced. Then sulfur, 1 sulfur, here also 1 sulfur, so that is balanced. Okay, so here chlorine is reduced by sulfur dioxide in the presence of water to give hydrochloric acid HCl and the sulfuric acid. Okay, now let us look at the second reaction. Potassium permanganate is also reduced to Mn2 plus ion, that is your manganese sulfate, MnSO4. Okay, so let us look at the reaction here. Potassium permanganate is KMnO4. This is potassium permanganate is getting reduced by sulfur dioxide in the presence of water to give potassium sulfate K2SO4, MnSO4 manganese sulfate and H2SO4 sulfuric acid. Fine. So here let us balance here the reaction. So here 2 potassium, whereas only 1 potassium, so to balance I put here 2. Now here it is 2 manganese, whereas only 1 manganese, so to balance 2 I put there. Now to balance with the hydrogen, I just put here 2. Yes. So here it becomes 4 hydrogen, whereas here only 2 hydrogen, so I put here 2. So hydrogen is balanced. Okay. Now let us look at the sulfur here. So 1 sulfur and 2 sulfur, so 3 and plus 2, 5 sulfur. So sulfur is 5 on the right hand side. Here only 1, so 5 sulfur. Okay. Now let us look at the oxygen here. So 4 2s are 8 oxygen here, 10 oxygen here. So 8 plus 10, 18. 18 plus 2, 20 oxygen here. So here 4 oxygen, 8 oxygen. So 12 oxygen, and here 8 oxygen, 20 oxygen. So that is balanced. Okay, so from this reaction it is clear that potassium permanganate is reduced by sulfur dioxide to give to manganese sulfate MnSO4. Now with that potassium sulfate K2SO4 and sulfuric acid H2SO4. Okay, so when we split this MnSO4, the Mn will be of +2 oxidation state and SO4 will be of -2 oxidation state. Okay, so So oxidation state of manganese is +2, so that's why it is a Mn2 plus. Okay, fine. So likewise in the chromium also, the potassium dichromate, when it is getting reduced, it forms Cr3 plus ion. Okay, so this Cr3 plus ion is from Cr2 plus Cr2 SO4 thrice, that is chromium trisulfate, chromium 3 sulfate, chromium 3 sulfate. Okay, so that chromium 3 sulfate is obtained here when potassium dichromate is reduced by sulfur dioxide and water. So here now we are not using water. So instead of water we are using H2SO4. Reduction takes place in the presence of acid. Okay, so acidified potassium dichromate. Acidified potassium dichromate. When sulfuric acid and potassium dichromate is mixed together, you get orange in color. You get orange color. So this orange colored acidified potassium permanganate, when mixed with sulfur dioxide reduces into chromium 3 sulfate. So that is the result. We get a green color formation. So this change in color from the orange to green indicate that the reaction as completed is reducing property of sulfur dioxide on potassium dichromate give rise to chromium 3 sulfate. Okay, so along with chromium 3 sulfate you get other products like potassium sulfate K2SO4. So now let us balance the reaction here. K2Cr2O7 potassium dichromate is reduced by sulfur dioxide in the presence of sulfuric acid to give you potassium sulfate, chromium 3 sulfate and water. So here the balancing, here 3 sulfur, here only 1 sulfur, so I put here 3, so it is balanced. Then here 2 potassium, here also 2 potassium, so that's balanced. 2 chromium on the left hand side and 2 chromium on the right hand side, that is also balanced. Now looking to the hydrogen, so here it is 2 hydrogen, here also 2 hydrogen. Now looking to the oxygen, here 6 oxygen, 6 oxygen, 6 plus 4, 10, 10 plus 7, 17 oxygen. Whereas here 12 oxygen, 12 plus 4, 16 oxygen, 16 plus 2, 1, that is 17 oxygen. So likewise it is balanced here. So this reaction, in this reaction, as soon as the sulfuric acid and potassium dichromate is joined together, you get an orange color. Yes, so acidified potassium dichromate is orange in color. So this orange color solution when treated with sulfur dioxide gas, it will convert into green in color. So now when green color is formed, that indicates the product chromium 3 oxide is obtained. So reaction is completed by forming chromium 3 sulfate, chromium 3 sulfate, and along with that potassium sulfate is also obtained and H. So that's it, you are reducing property of sulfur dioxide.